Hey, welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. In the series of pattern printing, so far we have seen so many patterns. In this video, we will see how we can actually print this particular pattern. So if you could carefully observe this pattern, in middle we have 1 and going to the right side, the values are keeps increasing vertically going till the value 5. In the left side also, the values keep increasing vertically and going till the value 5. So in order to print that, what we will be doing is that we will divide this whole pattern into two parts. One is this above pattern and another one is this below pattern, and by printing both of them and combining both of them, we will get the whole pattern. So let us go ahead and see first of all how we can able to print this particular pattern. So let us go ahead and see. So if you could able to observe this pattern, we have 5 rows, right? So for that reason, I will take a variable rows and I will assign with 5 because we have 5 rows, right? So after that, if you could carefully observe this pattern, apart from these numbers, we are also having spaces here. So first we need to print these spaces so that we can able to get the exact pattern. So in order to keep track of these spaces, in order to print those spaces, I will use a variable spaces and I will assign these spaces with rows 2 into rows minus 2. Why I have mentioned this logic is because if you could able to observe this pattern, we have the first row 1, 2, 3. Let me come once again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have totally 8 spaces and we cannot directly put 8 because if we change the value of rows, that pattern will be affected. For that reason, I have mentioned like this, which is 2 into rows, which is 10, and 10 minus 2, which is 8. So by using this kind of a logic, we can able to get any pattern like this by even if we change the value of rows. So let us go ahead and see furthermore how we can print this. So we have 5 rows. So in order to generate these many rows, I will use a for loop. For I in range. Now we will be generating the range of values. So by using this range of values, we will be getting all these particular values here. So for that, if you could carefully observe this pattern, in this left diagonal, we are having the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the right diagonal also, we are having the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we could able to generate these values, by using these diagonal values, we can able to get all these values in middle. So for that, first we will be generating these diagonal values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for that reason, I will start with 1 and go till the value of rows plus 1. Because if I could mention, if by mentioning this rows plus 1, we will be stopping at the value 5 by the functionality of this range. So inside this for loop, what I will be doing is that to know what values we are having I will print the value I here. So if I execute this, we can see the exact values that what we have expected, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have got these values. So now what we will be doing is that as we have this symmetric shape to the left side and right side, right? We have middle one and going left side we have this particular pattern and right side we have this particular pattern. First we will print this particular left pattern. Later we will print this particular right pattern. So to print this left pattern, by using this particular I values, we can print all these values. So you can observe we are having the I values which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are the diagonal values here. So in every single row, these values are starting with this particular I value and going till the value 1. In the first row, we only have 1. In the second row, we have the value I, which is 2, and going till 1. The third row, we have value 3 and going till the value 1. In the fourth row, we have I value, which is 4, and going till the value 1. So like this, in every single row, this particular pattern is repeating, which are starting with I going till the value 1. So when we have these kind of repeated statements, we use loops, right? So for that reason, what I will be doing is that inside of this for loop, I will use another loop for j in range. So now we will be generating the range of values. As we have discussed, in every single row, the values are starting with I and going till the value 1. So for that reason, I will mention I which are starting, and I need to go till the value 1. So for that reason, I am mentioning 0, and on each iteration we need to reduce them, right? So for that reason, I have mentioned -1. So if you found any difficulty while understanding this range, I sincerely suggest that watch my video about range function so that you can able to understand why I am mentioning like this. So in this for loop, instead of printing this particular I, let us print the value j here. So now if I execute this, so we can able to get the result as 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4321 and 54321. So these are the exact values that we are having in this particular left side of this particular pattern. So let us go ahead and see how we can arrange them. So we have got the values, so we need to arrange them, right? So for that reason, I am mentioning an end with a single space. So by default, this end parameter of print having new line character. So this, by mentioning like this, we will get everything in a single line. So we have got everything in a single line. So in this pattern, after once we have reached this j value reached to the value 1, we need to get a new line. So that is what happening in here. So for that reason, after completion of this inner for loop execution, I will give a new line by simply mentioning this print. So now if I execute this, we can able to get the result like this. So we have got everything in a new lines as like a pattern as like a rows. So we need to arrange these properly so that we can able to get the exact pattern. So for that reason, you can observe here we have spaces, right? So in order to get these spaces, what I will be doing is that as and when we come to this outer for loop, we need to print spaces because these spaces are coming before actually the numbers are coming. The numbers are coming in here. We need to print the spaces in outer for loop. So for that reason, I am taking a print and I am mentioning a space and multiplying with the spaces variable. That is what we are using to keep track of the spaces. And in the end, I will mention nothing. So by default, this end is having new line. We don't want any new line. For that reason, I am mentioning nothing. After that, what I will be doing is that here you can observe in this pattern the spaces are keeps reducing, right? So we have this many number of spaces. So later we have reduced two spaces. After that we have reduced two spaces. Like that, in every new row the spaces are reducing by 2. So for that reason, after completion of this inner for loop, I am reducing the spaces by 2. So now if I execute this, we can able to get the exact pattern which is present in here. So now we will generate this particular right pattern, so we can get the whole half pattern which is above. So in order to generate this right pattern, so as we have identified this diagonal values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by using this I, so you can observe further in every single row we are starting with value which is 1 and going till the value I. So in the first row we have 1. So in the second row, we have starting with 1. So not exactly 1, but starting with 2. So starting with 2 going till the value of this particular I here. So in the third row, we are starting with 2 and going till the value I, which is this particular I in this case. In the fourth row, we are starting with 2 and going till the value I. That is what we will be having in this particular I value. So I hope you have got some confusion. So let me print the value of I here. So here you can observe, if here we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the values of I. So we need to start with 2 and go till the value of 5 so that we can able to get the pattern, right? So that is what I am telling. So now what we will be doing is that these are repeating, right? So in every single row, the values are starting with 2 and going till the value of I. So as we have repeated statements, we use loops for k in range. So we need to generate the range of values. As we have discussed, we need to start with 2 and go till the value of I. So that is what I will be mentioning here. So now if I print the value k here, so we can able to see the result 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the exact values that we are having in this right side pattern. So we need to arrange these values so that we can get the whole pattern. So in order to arrange, what I will be doing is that I will mention an end with space so that we can able to get all of them in a single line. So we have got all of them in a single line. So now we have got some confusion here in this pattern, right? So we need to arrange this pattern a little bit so that we can able to get every single number aligned as this particular pattern. So for that, what I will be doing is that after completion of this, we need to generate a new line. So whenever it reaches the k value here, reaches to the value I. So for that reason, what I will be doing is that I will be printing a new line here. So still we have got the problem because we are printing a new line here in this particular pattern and in this particular pattern. So we are getting something like this. So if we could remove this particular row, which is having a new line, we can able to get the exact pattern you can observe here. So I hope you can able to get this particular pattern, how we are getting. So if you found any difficulty while understanding this logic, I sincerely suggest you to watch the video once again carefully so that you can able to understand. So at last, I will explain clearly how we can get all of this pattern summary so that you can able to watch that also. So we have got this above pattern. So we need to get this below pattern, right? So that we can able to get the whole pattern. So far, if you are enjoying this video, so hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that we can able to go to this particular below pattern and print this. So in order to print this particular below pattern, what I will be doing is that as we can observe, we have 4 rows, right? So we will be using this particular rows variable for this also. We will be following similar procedure to generate this particular below pattern. So for that, what I will be doing is that for L in range, so now we will be using the range function to generate the range of values. So as like above, we will be using these diagonal values to generate all the values. So in this diagonal values, we are having 4, 3, 2, 1. In this diagonal also, we are having 4, 3, 2, 1. So that in order to generate these values, what I will be doing is that I will mention rows minus 1. Rows is having 5. So by mentioning rows minus 1, we will be starting with value 4. And we need to go till the value 1. So for that reason, I will mention 0. So by the functionality of range, we will be stopped at the value 1. So on each iteration, we need to reduce, right? So for that reason, I am mentioning minus 1. So in this for loop, what we need to do is that as you can observe here, so let us know what values we are having in L, right? So that we can able to understand. So in this L, we are having exact values that what we have expected 4, 3, 2, 1 as in this diagonal. First, we will print this particular half pattern which is on the left side. Later, we will print this particular right pattern. So we can able to get every single value here. So in order to print this left side pattern, you can observe in every single row, we are starting with the value L, which is having here, and going till the value 1. We are starting with L, going till the value 1. So in every single row, this pattern is repeating, starting with L, going till the value 1. So as we have repeated statement, we go for loops. So for that reason, I will use one more loop here. M for M in range. So now we will be generating the range of values as we have discussed, starting with L going till the value 1. So for that reason, I will start with L and go till the value of 1. So for that reason, I am mentioning 0. On each iteration, we need to reduce, right? So for that reason, I am mentioning minus 1. So here, I will print the value M here so that we can able to see what values we have got. So here you can able to see we have got 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 1. Like that we have got the values which are starting with L and going till the value 1. So we have got the values. So we need to arrange those values, right? So for that reason, in order to arrange these values, I will be mentioning an end here by single space. Now if I execute this, we can able to get everything in a single line. So but that is not what we wanted. We need to get everything in a new line after once the value of M reaches to 1, right? So for that reason, I will mention a print after completion of this inner for loop. So we can able to see this of pattern here. So we still didn't get the exact pattern. So because we first need to print these spaces before these particular numbers. So for that reason, as and when we enter into this outer for loop, I will use a print with spaces and I will multiply with spaces. That is what we have used for the above pattern also. So here I am mentioning this end with nothing. So after that, what I will be doing is that in every single new row, the spaces are keeps increasing by two spaces, right? So for that reason, I need to increase these spaces by two. So now if we execute this, we will get some problem. So we will fix that anyway. So here you can see we didn't get the exact pattern in this left side because these spaces are using for both above and below. So we need to do some modification to spaces variable so that we can able to get the exact pattern. So what was the problem here? What was the value that we have spaces is that we have the value minus 2. So for that reason, it was getting something like this. So we need to get the values as two spaces. So for that reason, we need to increase these spaces by 4 times. So by doing that, we can able to get two spaces in this first row. So for that reason, what I will be doing is that I am mentioning spaces plus equal to 4 because we need to increase it by 4 times, right? So that we can able to get pattern. So now if I execute this, so we can able to get this particular pattern, so which is on the left side. So now we need to generate this particular right side pattern so that we can able to complete this whole pattern. So in order to generate this right side pattern, what I will be doing is that, as you can observe, as we have generated the value L, which gives the diagonal values which are 4, 3, 2, 1. That is what we have also used for this left side, right? So in L, we have 4, 3, 2, 1. And in every single row, you can observe we are starting with the value 2 going till the value L. Starting with 2 going till the value L. Starting with 2 going till the value L, which is 2 in this case. So for that reason, as we have this repeated statement, I will use a for loop for n in range. So now we will be generating a range of values. So what are the range of values? As we have discussed, starting with 2 going till the value L, that is what here. So I am mentioning starting value as 2 and going till the value L. So for that reason, I am mentioning L plus 1. So now if I execute this by mentioning, by printing this value L, we can observe the values as 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2. Like that, we have got the exact values that we are having in this right side pattern. So now if we need to arrange these values so that we can able to get the whole pattern. So for that, I will use this end as single space because we need to get them in the single line, right? So after that, we need to print a new line as and when the values are reached to the value L. So for that, we am using a print. So now if I execute this, we won't get the exact pattern. We will fix that anyway. So here we are getting way. So the problem is that here after completion of this for loop and for this for loop, we are generating a new line. So as this generating a new line, we are getting this particular pattern, this particular values in the new line instead of coming to beside of this particular values. So we need to remove this particular print which gives a new line so that we can able to get the exact pattern. So now if I execute this, we can able to get the exact pattern. That is what we have expected here. So in middle we have the value 1 going to the right side. These values got increased in this vertical way, and left side also these values are increased in this vertical way till the value of it reaches to 5. So now I hope you can able to understand this logic to generate this pattern. So I will try to quickly summarize what we are doing here so that you can able to understand it clearly. So here, what we will be doing is that we have divided this particular pattern into two pieces. One is above part and another one is below part. First, we are using by using this logic, we are printing this above pattern. So first, what we have done is that we have identified these diagonal values. So by using these diagonal values, we are generating all these values. So by using this for loop, we are generating diagonal values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after that we are printing spaces because we have identified these spaces before, right? So after that, what we are doing is that by using this inner for loop, we are printing this particular left side pattern here. So after that, what we will be doing is that we are printing this particular right side pattern here. So after completion of this, by combining both of these patterns, we are able to get this how pattern. After that, we are using this particular for loop to generate this particular below pattern. So as we have identified, by using this particular diagonal values, we can generate all these values. So for that reason, we have generating this the values 4321 by using this for loop. So after that, we are generating this particular left side pattern by using this for loop and right side pattern by using this for loop. So now I hope you can able to understand this logic to generate this pattern. So if you still got any confusion to print this particular pattern, I sincerely suggest you to watch the video once again carefully so that you can able to understand this logic clearly. So now what we will be doing is that we will dynamically take input from the user. So I'm asking user to enter rows. So now if I execute this, we can able to see enter asking to enter rows. Let's say if we give the value 3 here, so we can see in middle we have 1, going to the right side we have got till the value 3. So in the left side also we have gone till the value 3. So let's say if I give, let's say, 8 here, so we can see the exact pattern that what we can expect. In middle we have 1, going till the right side we have reached till the value 8, and in the left side also we have reached till the value 8 here. So now I hope you can able to understand this logic to generate this kind of a pattern by any number given by the user. So if you found this video interesting, hit the like button. In the next video, we will see how we can print this particular pattern. Here in middle, we have the highest value, which is 5 in this case. And going to the right side, we have got the least value, 1 in this case, in the right side and in the left side also. So we will see how we can print this particular pattern in the next video. So to stay updated, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications to all so that whenever I upload any video, you will get the notification. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.